are interested in trying to really make a difference and really change the direction that your life is going towards, perhaps professionally, then you absolutely want to watch this video. The fact that you clicked on this video means that you are supposed to be here, friend, and you are at a place in your career where you are trying to elevate yourself and maybe change the direction your life is going towards. Perhaps you're just frustrated with what you're doing right now. You don't like where you are. You don't like the income that you're making. You want to do more, but you're just not sure, well, what is it that's missing? Well, I'm going to share with you, learning how to speak in public will change your life. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you a bit more about how this strategy, this skill, is something that many people are terrified of, but I want to share with you why, if you can grasp this skill, it will change your life. And you want to watch this video until the end because I'm going to share with you some strategies to help you start learning how to speak better in public, especially as a woman in leadership. Now, on this channel specifically, I focus on more advanced communication skills and strategies that help already exceptional leaders, because if you're clicked on this video, I know you're already at that advanced level, friend. You just want to get some additional support and some refinement in terms of how you're communicating. But I'm really here to help you on your journey. And I focus on those advanced communication skills to help you be able to communicate confidently and concisely under pressure as a leader. Now, my target audience in terms of who I work with, in terms of my executive coaching and consulting practice, are women in leadership. However, if you happen to not be in that target audience, maybe you are a woman that's not a leader yet, or maybe you are a man in leadership, the strategies that I share with you are universal, and you can use them regardless of what role you're in right now to help you elevate yourself as a leader. So I welcome all of you here, whether you're in my direct target audience or not. You're going to gain a lot of value from this video today. And this is a live video, and so typically on the live video, there's a lot that goes on. Right now, if you're watching this portion of the video, you're more than likely watching the replay. So I'm glad you're here, and welcome, welcome. Let me know where you are joining from today. And on YouTube, what happens is there's a point in time where people join the conversation. I say hello to them. So just give me just a few moments so I can say hello to everyone. And we'll start talking about how public speaking can change your life, and how there's a couple strategies, if you are struggling with this, that you can start working on today that will help you be able to speak better in public. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning, this skill will change you. There was a video that I was watching previously, and it was a conversation with Warren Buffett and Bill Gates about skills that people need to have. And one of the skills that they were talking about, the two of them, they were discussing this in front of a group of college students. So the college students were just wanting to learn, like, what can we do to be successful? And Warren Buffett mentioned two skills that he felt like were very imperative for people to understand and to really be able to grasp to be very successful. One was sales, and the other was communication. And communication is what we're talking about today. When people talk about public speaking, what comes to mind? When you hear public speaking, what do you think about? What's your first, as we say, your first immediate reaction when you hear public speaking? What do you think about? Let me know in the comments below. Many people think about, let's see, TED Talks. They think about political leaders or public officials. They think about celebrities. They think about leaders or elected officials, and etc. But I want to know, what do you think about? Sometimes when I'm working with my clients, when they hear public speaking, they think of fear. They think of being terrified, and this is something that they don't want to do. And public speaking itself can be scary if you haven't done it before. There are certain things, situations that we all tend to fear, and public speaking just so happens to be really close to the top of that list. And the reason why public speaking will change your life is because if most of the population really struggles with public speaking and speaking in public, then you will automatically stand out from everybody else as a public speaker. Now, many people think that public speaking is for certain scenarios, right? It's for TEDx talks, conferences, board meetings. But if you do not learn anything from this video. Learn this one strategy I want to share with you, or this one insight I want to share with you. Public speaking is not only for those particular situations where you are when you're in front of a really large group of people. It is also, friends, for individuals who are communicating on a day-to-day basis. This is how leaders stand out. It's not necessarily always the lights, camera, action type of meetings that you have. It is your day-to-day conversations that you have with other people that will help you to showcase yourself as a leader and help you to become a better public speaker. So that's one myth I want you all to consider is not true. Public speaking is not only for speaking in front of a group, because there's so many people I interact with and they say, well, I don't need to be a public speaker. I want to be able to speak better with my team. Well, public speaking has a lot to do with that. So if this is something you're struggling with and you know that you've been perhaps overlooked in some of your meetings and you've been overlooked in some of your conversations and etc., then you might want to consider learning how to speak in public. It will absolutely change your life. It will. Let me share with you personally how public speaking has changed my life. Now, for me, I was not a public speaker. Never really even thought about it until I became a graduate student when one of my friends at the time introduced me to public speaking in terms of Toastmasters. And I knew that it was important, but I didn't know how important it was for me personally as a leader. I didn't really think too much about it. It was something that sometimes when you're not introduced to different type of strategies or conversations, it never really enters your mind. You never really even think about it. That's why exposure is so incredibly important. You have to make sure you are being exposed to the right type of people, the positive people that will uplift you, that will elevate you, and etc. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. And so for those of you who are joining, welcome. Glad you're here today. We're talking about how if you want to change your life, learn how to speak better in public. And I'm going to share with you some strategies on how to do that. I appreciate you being here today, and feel free to let me know where you are joining from in the big, beautiful world today. Now, we talked about public speaking, and I was sharing with you my personal story in terms of how I was introduced to public speaking and how it has completely changed my life. I was introduced to public speaking when I was in graduate school, and I thought it was interesting. I didn't really think too much about it. However, when I really started to learn how important public speaking was, now I will say, give you a preface about this. I have been in different leadership roles throughout my entire life. I've been in, I can't even say how many leadership roles I've been in. It's been so many, but I've been in a lot of leadership roles over the years. And my leadership journey, believe it or not, actually started when I was in high school, and I ran for a elected position as vice president of my high school at the time. Now, I learned a lot about politics there, believe it or not, and that's a whole nother video for a whole nother topic. I will talk about that one day. But it was a very good video. Not video, but very good time in my life where I was able to run for the position in high school, and I was successful and became vice president of my high school, which is a big accomplishment for me. But I've been in leadership roles for all of my life, but public speaking is something that never really dawned on me to do. When I decided to dive more into public speaking was when I was a dental school student. I was president of my class the entire time we were there, and I knew that I was going to be speaking in front of a group of 80 or so people every day about different topics, and I wanted to become a better communicator for them. And what I decided to do was I decided to find a Toastmasters group that was locally in our area, and I was in Washington, D.C. at the time. I went to the amazing Howard University College of Dentistry in Washington, D.C. And I went to the club that was closest to where I was at that National Press Club of Toastmasters. And literally, friends, I went there when I was still a dental school student. Now, for those of you in dental school are probably thinking I'm crazy. I did a lot of stuff in dental school that was not related to dental school, which is why I am who I am today. But I decided that I wanted to speak more and I wanted to do more. I wanted to be a better communicator. And so what happened to me personally is, as I started going to those Toastmasters meetings, I started to adjust how I communicated to my class at the time. And there's some of my classmates that are subscribed to my channel, so they know what my transition has been like. They know how I've communicated, and I've done the best I can. Of course, no one's perfect, but I did do that for them. I did become a better speaker for them. And that's where really my public speaking journey started. So fast forward briefly, and this is just how public speaking changed my life. I would love to know how public speaking has changed your life. Or maybe you have some goals, some big projects, some things you're wanting to work on, and you are not able to do it because you do not feel comfortable speaking in public. I really want to support you on that. Just let me know in the comments below and we'll talk about it. But so what happened to me after that? I spoke very well. I was able to do a lot of different things, and I started to learn how public speaking wasn't just for speaking in front of a group of people, even though I did speak in front of a group of my classmates for going on 4 years pretty consistently. If it wasn't every day, it was probably every other day, or definitely via email. And so I started to learn how public speaking can really change how people perceive you. I started to learn the written format of public speaking. I started to learn how in your day-to-day conversations, public speaking can really help you. And that's where I started to put everything together and say, this skill can really change your life. It can change your life. So what's happened to me since then? So since that time, as a dental school student, I was able to do some very highly competitive externships. One was in Barrow, Alaska. A lot of it dealt with the way I communicated. I did another externship which was my big externship that really opened up my eyes to public speaking and communication in the world of politics. Was I was selected as one or two students in the United States as a dental school student from the American Dental Association to participate in their Washington National Health Policy extern. And so I spent the summer in Capitol Hill learning about the political process. I interacted with the Senate Majority Leader at that time, who was Harry Reid. There was some congressional members from Puerto Rico that were there, other congressional members that are current members, like Dr. Mike Simpson. He is a dentist that is in the House of Representatives representing his constituents, and many, many, many other political leaders. And so once that happened, I really started to see, when I interacted with public officials, that public speaking really does matter. It really does matter. And it helped me out tremendously. Since then, I have been able to be featured on the cover of Howard University's magazine because I participated in the externship, all because of how I communicated. Since that time, I have had the opportunity to be featured on the news in Pensacola, Florida. And then I've also had the opportunity to be a member on the Florida Dental Association's show on this segment. And I've given congressional testimony here in the state of Florida to the Health and Human Services Committee several years ago. And now I'm here with you on YouTube. And so I share this because if you take a moment and really work on how you are communicating as a leader and take public speaking seriously. I took it seriously. I have put in thousands of hours as a public speaker, so much to where I was able to continue my journey on Toastmasters, where I completed their Distinguished Toastmaster Award, which Toastmasters themselves, they have about 358,000 members worldwide, and only 1% of that 358,000 members actually are able to complete their Distinguished Toastmaster Award. So that means I've done a lot of speeches, I've done a lot of leadership activities, I've done a lot, and I take public speaking seriously. As you can tell on my channel, I take it seriously, very seriously. It's a critical part of leadership that people underestimate how you can make a tremendous impact if you learn how to speak in public. It will change your life. And I can say, for me, if I would have not taken public speaking seriously, I would not be with you right now. I would not be with you right now. I could still be a leader, but I would not learn how to really communicate. And I mastered this skill. I've been able to do this very successfully as a C-suite executive, as I transition as a dental director, a C-suite executive, a manager, and then of course continue as being a public speaker here on YouTube and having conversations, persuading individuals in boardrooms, etc., negotiating my salary, making sure I have a higher salary. All of it, friends, it comes from how you communicate with your peers, your colleagues, people that you work with. And it all comes down to public speaking. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if there's nothing that you take out of this video, understand this. Public speaking is not only for your conferences, your TEDx, speaking in front of your board members, doing presentations, and etc. Public speaking is for your day-to-day conversations that you have with your teams. And every time you start to develop the skill, you enhance the skill, you will start to see your life change, your life accelerate and go to that next level. I have shared with you personally my trajectory in terms of where and how becoming a better speaker changed my life. So I would love to know from all of you that are watching this video, how has public speaking changed your life, number one? And if you are not at the point where you have started to really invest in yourself to become a better public speaker, then what are some of those goals that you want to accomplish in your life that you feel like you have not been able to do because you don't feel comfortable speaking in public? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you are a woman in leadership and you know that this is a skill you need to enhance, perhaps you are at the beginning, the middle, the end of your leadership journey. Maybe you're a C-suite executive, you are a senior VP, you've been promoted, maybe you're running for a political office and you want to learn how to speak better in public, then contact me for a strategy session in the description below. And let's talk about where you are and let's talk about how we can get you there as quick as possible. So I appreciate you all being here today. This is a bit of a different type of video today. And my one strategy for you all, as I mentioned, is to start speaking. Start speaking. Just start speaking. Start practicing. Start speaking. You will not be perfect the first time you speak, and that's okay. When you make a mistake, that's how you learn. So my strategy for you is to just start speaking. Speak, 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 speak. You will not become better unless you practice. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. It's a bit of a different video for my channel. This is a little more about me and how public speaking has changed my life, but I want to know how public speaking has changed your life, or maybe how you want your life to change, and maybe public speaking is holding you up. If you have not subscribed to this channel, this is the best place for you to be at if you're trying to really elevate your skills as a communicator. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.